part of my job at Coventry is to work on the Agri College Europe project, and we've set up an urban living lab in the Coventry area. So most of the growers who are involved are smaller scale. They're dealing with urban soils in a built-up area, and that obviously has certain factors, certain common factors that all the growers are looking at. The main theme of the Living Lab is to improve crop diversity as a way of being more resilient against climate change. So the participants have been growing either crops which are completely new to them or new varieties of existing crops to see how they go, to compare with one another, to compare with maybe different soil types across the city. And it hasn't necessarily cost a lot of money to do this kind of activity. But going forward, it would help to have more money. But if it wanted to carry on doing what it's doing, it wouldn't necessarily need a lot of new finance. The main thing that the Living Lab is doing, as well as drawing the network of people together to share knowledge, to share skills, we're all gathered around the same theme. And I think really in our first meetings, it became very apparent that climate change was the biggest problem that people were worried about, and the change in the growing seasons because of climate change. So in the UK, the weather's already a little bit erratic because we're on the edge of a big continent. We already have what we'd call a maritime climate. But with climate change, we're seeing more extremes. So more cold weather, more wet weather, more hot weather. So everything's just exaggerated and exacerbated with the weather. So one of the main ways to combat that is to maybe spread the risk by growing a wider range of crops. So that's been the theme that everybody's really got behind and really been keen to look at, just to look at growing a greater variety of things in the kind of hope that if some things do badly, there will be other things that do well. It could be a very hot summer, it could be a very wet summer. We just don't know. Climate change gives us that increased uncertainty. And a lot of our growers are growing in quite small spaces in urban soils. We do have some growers on the outskirts of the city in rural peri-urban areas, but most of them are actually concentrated within the city. So that's kind of a unique aspect to our Living Lab. There don't seem to be many which are operating in urban areas. So I think the immediate, the more immediate impact of setting up the Living Lab has been that it's connected people, or it's strengthened some existing connections that already existed, and it's got people sharing information with each other about growing a more diverse range of crops. Going into the sort of medium and longer term, I think by improving those connections, we've already started to see some improved activity. So for example, one grower who had surplus crops got in touch with the local food bank to see if they wanted the surplus crops for people who use the food bank, which has been a real positive. So I think going forward, the most important things that need to be in place for the Living Lab, I think the individual people who are involved are interested and they want to expand their knowledge and they're enthusiastic. So I think that enthusiasm for trying new things, for growing new crops, I think that's really important. I think it's important also for people to be organised together in some way, for there to be a network, for there to be a mechanism where they can communicate with each other as well. And I think that's in place. I think people are talking to each other, people are sharing knowledge with each other. I think that's in place. And I think another element that needs to be there for people to continue with the Living Lab is to have some more kind of formal organisation.